Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about, how to build a small application using, tkinter as a front end and backend as a, MySQL, isn't it? So let me take an application that, tkinter based app using MySQL as backend. Right. So if you look at probably, so I hope you are seeing my screen, right? Yeah. I think if we create this particular front end, such a way that if we enter the student name, if we enter the course name, the moment whenever you click onto the add button, this particular student data has to be stored into the database. That is the way an application has to be built. Otherwise, you don't understand that where exactly the MySQL is getting used. So how to insert the data into the database, how to update, how to delete, how to refresh, all these required, and how to display the data on top of this particular screen. Everything will be, made available over here, isn't it? So firstly, you should understand how to create this particular front end. So I hope everyone is having an idea that how to exactly this particular front end is to be created. Can you raise your hand? Those who are not aware till now, I have already explained in previous class that, how to create this particular front end. Please, can you confirm? I think Aruna aware, Kevin,
Yes,
Madhukumar,
sir.
Mahi, Masti, and Rajalakshmi, and everybody is familiar with this, right?
Yes, sir.
So now the point is, if you create this particular front end part, such a way that how to interact with this particular application with the backend is a matter now, isn't it? So firstly, how exactly this application will work, I'll show you. Just hold on, please. Okay. I'm executing this particular application. So now I'm running this application that, what the student name is Rajalakshmi. The course have been chosen called as AIML. See, the moment whenever I click onto the add button, which means that can you tell me what query we are calling here behind this particular add button? Please, I'm expecting answer from you. The moment if I'm click on add button, which MySQL query I am calling behind it?
Insert, sir. Insert.
Insert value.
Absolutely. So
Insert.
I'm inserting the data, which is a student name and as well as a course name. These two particular data I'm just trying to insert it. And obviously update is having update query, delete is having a delete query. So firstly, we'll check now if I click onto the add button, in which database, in which table the data has been inserted, we have to get to know. I have inserted. The moment whenever I have inserted, you see, already there was a student called Manish, AML course, and August 10th he has joined. Today is August 13th, right? So Rajalakshmi have joined. Similarly, I'm just add some more. Madhu is a student who have chosen AIML. I'm adding it. and absolutely Kevin, and the course I have chosen called as AIML. Are you clear? So now point is, let us go and check whether the data has been inserted or not. Where are we supposed to check? Obviously, we have to see the MySQL. Obviously, data is inserted, therefore it is showing in front of you. So let me check background, So because we have to track in which database and which table, system TLS. Okay. Okay, now let us see what database we are using it. And here the table name called as enrollment, and database. I hope you are seeing my screen, that the database is called as a course underscore enrollment. So the database is course underscore enrollment and the table name is enrollment. Let us go back. Use, there is a database called as a course underscore enrollment. Yeah, the database has been changed, and select select a star from enrollment. If you look at here, I hope you are seeing my screen that the data which was inserted Manish, the data Rajalakshmi, and the Madhu and Kevin. These 4 students' data has been inserted into the data in the database. So in a similar manner, so here you is supposed to be now first primary duty is that here is supposed to create now. So student name is the label, and absolutely is supposed to be create a entry box, and there is a course name, and obviously supposed to be create a entry box, and is supposed to be create that absolutely buttons here. So which means what? You can keep the button name as add, and you can create a button name as update. You can create a button name called as a delete and refresh. These are all 4 buttons I required. And next, I need to display the data. I need to display the data. So where you're supposed to create a tree view, there is a tree view. This is the place text box. Whatever the data you have inserted, that I need to be displayed in the form of ID and in the form of a student name, in the form of a codes, and the time at which you have inserted the data. Because you see, there is an ID, there is a student name, there is a course name, and there will be the enrollment date. Right? So this is a one kind of a project, I can say. Right? So quickly, everybody, I hope you know that. Quickly, I'm expecting open a fresh page. You open a fresh page and trying to start designing this particular application. Otherwise, I'll just explain to you how exactly this application. So major thing is that here, yeah. So you just open the new page. There is a new application. You just try to be, you just try to be open it and Right. So firstly, you're supposed to understand that, from the tkinter, import star. So this is the message which requires. Absolutely, this is also required. And from the message box is also required. Right. Yeah. So these three are very important. Even import date time is also required. That's all. So now obviously the first line is supposed to be create a window. So to create a window is equal to, there is a built-in function called as a tk. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, here there is an application I'm trying to create is that student enroll form. Student enroll form. Okay. Then obviously I wanted to increase the geometry, which means the size of the window, such, I just wanted to be create as a 450 into 450 width and height of the window. And absolutely, I just wanted to be create the screen as a black, like, and the lastly, you just the last line is that which I'm going to create is that window dot main loop has to be this particular line will be make your window as the finite rather than infinite size, which will be confined to your system. I think this is the skeleton or template of the system where it will be create you an application. If you now execute, this will be show you the application. You see, an application have been made. Now on top of it, now I required, what? Now application. On this, I required a student name as a label and student codes as the label. And apart from this, you know, I required there will be entry box. There will be an entry box. There are buttons, like something called as a button called as add a student to the database. And you create another button called as update if you want student name or student codes. If you no more require the student data, you can go for the delete of a record. If another student wanted to be keep, then you can call there is a refresh. Obviously by default also we can keep as a refresh. We can create explicit button if you want. And then I require a tree button. I required a tree button, like, where it will be show the, table of data, which will be required a select statement. We are not creating any button to select the data. Automatically, the moment whenever the data is available in the table, in the database, obviously that data is going to be made available over here. Absolutely here, the ID of the student by default automatically incremented. The name of the student is also be there, and the codes, and then timestamp at which they have created, like absolutely 101, and then Srini codes will be selected as EIML, and the time at which, there will be, 13, absolutely, 08, like that time of the stamp is going to be stored like this. About all the student I have just now executed, I have shown you. So you guys, you supposed to be, now you supposed to create, this is the window. Where you supposed to create all this. So you already have an idea. I'm expecting you guys can create it now. So your role is going to start now. Please everybody create all this. You have to align that, it is a row 0, it is the column 0. It is a column 1, it is the column row 1, it is a row 5, and it is a column 0, column 1, column 2, column 3. And obviously this is the row 7 where there will be a table is going to be created. So firstly, you start doing certain programs so that I'll be help you how to make it happen and how exactly an integration of the database is also be there. But don't be search here and there for the code, because if this kind of things, if you're depending on the chart GPT, all this, you never learn how to build an application in a customized way. Please don't look at the smarter way. Please, you write line by line. Even if you get an error, I'll tell you how to resolve it, but I required, you supposed to write line by line. Please, everybody should start the writing an application from here. Create a label, one, which is going to be the student name. Another label, after creation of the label one, you create an entry box. Entry box where the entry box is going to allow to give the student name. And then label 2, where it will be allow you to be enter course name. Then accordingly, there will be an entry box is required to enter the course name. Absolutely. Then obviously you just go ahead. Then you're supposed to create buttons. Button 1 is that insert data into insert the data into related table. And firstly, you should go to the database. Everybody should create. Please go to the database. Everybody should create. There will be create database. The database name is course_enrollment. Enrollment. This is the database. After creation of database, you just jump use course_enrollment. Then you try to create a table now. Create table, isn't it? Create a table where I'll share the table query also. Firstly, I'll share the table query. Otherwise, you can create a table. So you know the syntax of all this. So the student name will be a varchar. So already I explained to you somewhere. So you have written the queries also how to create a table like varchar of 50, comma, like similarly, course name. I hope you are seeing the database here, right? So the table also, you see here, this is a stable structure. The names you just try to be follow the same. You have to column ID and it's varchar, it's also varchar, it also varchar. There are the 4 columns will be there for the table. Yeah. I
Date
hope you
also
are.
worker or date time? I mean date.
No. We are going to call, there is a function. There is a built-in function called as a date dot today.
Okay.
So that it automatically captured. We need not to pass any kind of a date from your explicit time. Just it will be take, there will be the date.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Mm. Yeah. So from the date time, we can import only date. Yeah. First you create all this. I'll tell you the place where you're supposed to write something else. So I need a label, like, something called as L1. Yeah, absolutely. It is showing you that you can specify some more font is going to be obviously, yeah, Arial, and you can make it as 90, so that absolutely L1 dot grid row 0 column 0. Yeah. So absolutely, if you look at, if you execute, you can see the code, what kind of a window has been created. If you look at, so student name. So rather than that, you change little lower, something called as, you can make it as a font size as probably 50. You can make the 50. I think little, yeah, you can make it as a student name where entry box can be created accordingly.
Sir, instead of window, shall we use TK or we can't use TK?
What is that? Sticky.
Ah, it,
Yeah, there are
and the
many, there
above,
are.
yeah, above you have taken window variable equal to TK function.
Mm.
So we can use that function whenever we use window, or we have to write window. I mean, we have to take the
See,
window name. Yeah.
window is the user defined word. Actually, I defined as window.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it would be written as root, sometimes W. That's the user defined. But once
Okay.
if we created a window with a reference object called as a window, the entire the application is supposed to use the window, because the window we have called as the parameter for the label, because label we are creating within the window. Window is the super window. Label will be the container. Window will be a container. Label will be the subset, right? In similar way,
Okay.
entry box also. Even I'm creating even, you see, entry box we are creating within the window. That's how we supposed to
Okay.
be called. Yeah,
Okay.
E1 dot grid. Yeah. You see, now both will be created. I have created a label as well as, I have created the entry box too. So reduce the size of here, like something called as a 20, and where you can keep the color rather than the black, you can color add orange. Yeah. Yeah, if you look at now, I think an application has been created like, student name and window. Similarly, I need another label and another entry box. Like, create a, like, you can keep it as a 15. Or else, yeah. You can, and similarly label 2, I'm creating L2 is equal to like, and absolutely, L2 dot grid. Yeah, row 1 and column 0. And obviously, if you look at an application, it would be created. There will be a student name and second label called course name, and one more entry is required. Yeah. So now E2 is equal to an entry box, and E2 has to be aligned dot grid. So row 1, column 1. Absolutely, it is created 2 labels and 2 entry boxes. Absolutely, here 2 labels and 2 entry boxes created. This is label 1, label 2, and this is the entry box 2. Now you create buttons. How many buttons you create? 2, 3 buttons. Like you created initial one button. Yeah, like we can create a B1 is equal to, there will be the built-in function called as a button. So where you can create a button within the window, and there will be the text to be submit, or else rather than submit, I could able to take as a enroll. Enroll is the name of the uh, um, button will be shown on top of it, and where the command is going to be, it's going to be, like command is going to be shown like, here you are going to call, there is a function. So whenever you write a like button, we're supposed to call, there will be the button. So add underscore enrollment. There will be the function. You remove this entire the thing because it's an user defined by default. AI is showing you that you just try to be avoid it. Command. I'm going to write a user defined function. Whenever you click onto that, there is a function is going to be called that add underscore enrollment. Yes, this is a function name. It is a function name. And simultaneously we can able to write, there is a grid function like row to column 0, that also we can able to write, so that it is automatically getting created the corresponding button. Here you just try to be run the application. I hope you are looking at my screen. There actually you can see that absolutely there will be a button has been created, which is an enroll button. Similar kind of a buttons, I require 3 buttons. So we can use, there is a parameter is called paddy. There will be a parameter called as a paddy. There is a button, there will be a grid. Grid is having, there will be paddy x is going to be treated as 10, and paddy y is going to be 10, so that that button is going to be yeah, so it will be show the x-axis and y-axis little properly way over there, like so nothing is happening, like fill the fields. This is the error, nothing is happening here. So we have to write a definition what to happen when the enroll button has to be clicked. So firstly, you're supposed to be click onto that. You have to be enter, and then we have to write a function. Like, what is the function definition? Firstly, we have to connect to the database, right? So now I will be tell you the code what to do now. Now I'll be tell you the code. Now here I will be able to write a code now. What is the code I am going to write? I will be write, there is a definition is called connect database. Connect DB, because we have to connect to the database, right? So now absolutely it will be written the value, it will be written. Like, what is that? Absolutely, if you wanted to connect with the database, you're supposed to go ahead. There will be the built-in function import mysql dot connector has to be there. So absolutely it will be written mysql dot connector dot connect, right? Where we supposed to pass the data. Like, what is that? Localhost. Here for you it will be a root, for me it will be Venkat, and there will be the password is mysql for me, and the database name is already I created that, that will be course underscore enrollment. It's my database name. Yeah, that's all. That's all. This is the line where it will be written the corresponding value to you. Right. Once if he connected successfully, then I'll be called. There is a function. I'm writing another function. That definition insert, like, insert underscore data is a function I'm writing. If you want to pass the data to the database, we supposed to give the name as well as, codes. These two parameters has to be inserted within the function, so that absolutely what I'm doing here, I'm just calling, there will be the connection, and I'm calling the function now connectDB. Just now we have written the definition, right? See, here you're supposed to understand, I'm writing a user defined function to insert the data into that by passing name and codes as a parameter. But here I'm calling the function which was written here. This function will return the connection, right? That will be referenced by the CONN. Yes or no? So now I'm connecting cursor. Cursor is equal to, connection dot cursor. After the cursor, absolutely we are going to execute the operation. What is that? We are going to cursor execution. The query we are writing here, what is that? Insert into, there will be, so please don't take the default queries will be shown by the AI. Insert into, there will be the table called enrollments. Enrollments already I created in my system. You have to create. I think you have created, I hope, enrollments, and you just try to here you just try to be remove the values where I'll be enrollments. I'm going to be insert that, where student database name called as a student underscore name, comma, codes name, codes underscore name, comma, enrollment date, enrollment date. Then you write a values here, values. Now the values are going to be string type, percentages, percentage yes, comma, percentage yes, because the three values I'm inserting into it. Okay, comma, double quotation, this is a query, comma. Here you supposed to write now name, because we are passing the parameter name, comma, course, comma, date dot today. This will be give you absolutely, yeah. That's all. I think just you try to reduce the size of the window so that that will be gives you the perfectly how exactly it will be run. Now, if you look at now, this is the complete execution process. So insert into enrollment, student name and student course and date. The values are going to be take from the window in terms of percentages, and then name, course and date from this. 3 will be comes from that. Then obviously, according to knowledge, you supposed to be connection dot commit is required. We have written a while connection of the data and connection dot close. These are the common things. Okay. And now insert we have written, but you're supposed to write so there is a function I'm going to take another function called as add underscore, there will be function I'm going to take where I'll be going to write there is a function that add underscore enrollment. This function is going to be called by the system, like eventually that above function will be called add underscore enrollment. Now what I'm doing here, whatever the entries you are going to be enter into the window, that I'm going to be get into that student underscore name underscore var dot get. So whatever the entry you have enter into the text box, that I'm going to be taken to here. So here, if you look at, so what is the label name you have given here? So the label name is that the text you have given as what student name. The another label will be the course name, and obviously the student underscore name underscore var has to be a it's they are the user defined functions, like where you can able to specify over here after the declaring the labels. You could able to write there will be a user defined variables, user defined variables. I just creating that student underscore name underscore var is equal to I'm making it as what take enter dot I can able to keep it as string var. There will be the function is called there will be a string var, means I'm just trying to make it as and course name. Yeah, these are the two variables I just created accordingly. Okay, and if we go here, it will be automatically comes from there. So both will be called, name as well as course is equal to this is going to be taken. Then obviously, if we give the name and as well as course, name and as well as a course, absolutely it will be data will be inserted. It will be Now I'm going to call, there is a function just now we have written, right? Insert underscore data. Insert underscore data, I'm going to call this particular function. And by passing the course and name. After that, obviously we can refresh the data. So if nothing would happen, then I would go with the else statement. If something goes wrong here, that what happens, the message box dot show info, show warning, otherwise show warning, that it will be give you that warning, that warning will be given, such as please select the record, please fill the entries, please, that I'm going to write, please enter the records, please enter the details of the students. Sometimes without entering the students data, you can able to fill onto the, will be click onto the data, right? So which is a button. So if you don't give any data, if you trying to insert the data, this warning is going to be given to you. So there will be enroll button, right? I have created a button called add underscore enrollment. Okay, enroll. Okay. Okay. The data hasn't inserted. Okay. So enrollment and the database name called as a course underscore enrollment. I think, did I make any mistakes while giving the data? So where okay. So MySQL.connect connector. Okay, Venkat. Password is course underscore enrollment. Okay. Insert underscore data name comma course. Hmm. There is an error called name add underscore enrollment is not defined. Enrollment. Add underscore enrollment.
Sir,
No,
sir, I have a doubt. If name and course, do we need give anything like name is equal to not equal to some space or something?
no, that we can handle actually. Sometimes we'll enter the with the spaces or something. That time we can able to use the method called as a strip method with which we can remove the spaces. That are all, handling the errors. Why that's called, comes under validation process.
Okay,
Yeah, that's comes under validation process.
okay.
Mm. Mm. Please enter the details of the students. Okay. Okay.
Sir, I think we need to do that entry and we have to create the entry button for name and course again in the
We have created, right, already entry buttons. You have not created.
no,
Yeah, Venkat has
nothing.
been inserted now. You see.
Okay.
So you were asking me to, create an entry button right here. I created somewhere else, where, yeah, if you look at me, here I just created. You see, this is
Yes,
the
yes,
label.
yes.
This is an entry box. Earlier I made a mistake that I took the name of the identifiers as E1 and E2 for the entry boxes, but I took name and course.
Okay. Sir, you're not audible, sir. Sir, we can't hear you. Sir, your voice is not audible to us.
Sir, can't hear you, sir.
Hello, Venkat sir. Hello. Okay, we will meet tomorrow. Okay, Aruna and Rajalakshmi. I think sir signal is
Okay,
something.
sir.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.